Hey folks, how's it going? It's your favorite realtor team, Evantz Saint-Gerard.
And Dean Graber.
We're Team NWE of Keller Williams Realty Landmark, and it's our favorite segment. It's called Your Next Move, and we got a special guest today, Mauricio Blanco. Mauricio, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, well, thank you for having me here. My name is Mauricio Blanco. I've been in real estate for a little while. So I'm a realtor out here in Austin, Texas with Keller Williams Realty. Yes.
Well, Mauricio, you were originally here in Brooklyn, well, actually in the New York area, and then you moved out to Texas how long ago?
Yeah, so it's been about a year now. It's been about a year. Yeah, so I used to live back out in New York, in Queens, and then we moved out to Long Island, to Valley Stream, and then from there we moved to Texas.
All right.
Looking for the Texas dream.
All right. So Dean's got a line of questions that he's going to ask. Go ahead, Dean.
All right. So Mauricio, what areas in Texas, now that you're a licensed realtor down there in that part of the world, what areas do you cover in Texas?
That's a great question, Dean. So I cover pretty much all over Austin, right? So Austin is not as big as New York, but the minute that you go out 10, 15 minutes drive, you're kind of like in the suburbs of Austin, right? So I cover pretty much all over from north in Gerald, Texas, all the way down to Buda, Kyle, Texas, and west and east, about good 30, 40 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So I've been to Austin, so I know it is a pretty big city though, actually, right? It has a lot of activities there in the city.
Yes. So yes, it is. I should have said it is a big city. It's one of the biggest cities in the country, right? But compared to New York City, it kind of like falls into a different category. But yes, it is a pretty big city. Yes.
All right. So people moving, let's say, from New York or the Northeast to the Austin area, are they relocating to the city, or are they going to the suburbs mostly?
I see, especially now with COVID situation, right? I see that a lot of people are moving from out of state more into the suburbs, right? And that's where that I've been covering a lot for the past 9 months, is basically good 20 minutes out from the city, but then traffic is not as bad as New York. So I had a couple of people moving from New York, right, that they were buying into an area called Maynard, which is a good 20 minutes from downtown Austin. And homes are very affordable out there, but you have pretty much all prices for all ranges. Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's say in Queens, you sell your average house in South Queens or South Nassau. Say it sells for $500,000 to $600,000 here. So if you were going to use that money from here and redeposit it into the state of Texas and buy the Austin area, what would you expect to get?
Dean, if you sell your house for $500,000 free and clear, and you bring in $500,000 to Austin, Texas, you can definitely have a very nice house. I would say, you can buy a home like that, within the city of Austin. But if you really want the best, what is it, bang for your buck?
Bang for your buck.
Yeah, bang for your buck. You want to be somewhere in the outskirts of Austin. And when I say outskirts, it's not an hour. It's not an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's maybe 30 minutes or less.
Okay. All right. And what kind of house can you get there for? Look,
man,
for less than 500, but a nice house.
Yeah, for less than 500, you can get something really nice. Single story, two story, 4 bedrooms. You can get somewhere in the 2,500 square feet, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can get something in the 2,500 square feet. Right now, I'm helping one of my clients purchase a home in Maynard again, and it's a beautiful home. It's from a very good builder. The name is Perry Homes. You can look them up. They have beautiful designs, and they're buying a home for $416,000. And that home is 2,500 square feet. It has a covered patio. It's right by the golf course. It has a Starbucks. In a way, which is good, important.
Starbucks is everywhere.
Right? Thinking about resale value, right? So so you could definitely do that. But you don't have to go with 400,000. Not too far from that home, that community, same community, you find homes for 270,000. A little bit smaller on the 1,800 square feet, 1,600. Right? If you go to the 230,000, then you're looking at 1,400 square feet, which is still pretty good. That's an average home in New York City, right?
Yeah. 1,400 square feet is like the average kind of in the areas that that we're about, like in South Queens and South Nassau.
So
something
Mauricio,
to keep in mind also. Sorry, go ahead.
Quick question. Who are you seeing moving to these areas? Is it mostly retirees, young families like yourself? Who are you most likely seeing going to these
everybody from all walks of life, because Austin has a big industry. I mean, technology is a big industry here in Austin, so you have a lot of young people moving in, right? But then you also have people from New York or California or Chicago, you know, moving into Austin that want to retire. They sold their home, they lived in for 25 years, for example, someone in New York, right? They take that cash, bring it out here, use half of it to buy a home, and then use the other half to live off of it, right? So I see pretty much everybody. I mean, in that community, you know, that I'm telling you about, I see young, older people, you know, everybody, pretty much everybody, yeah. Anybody that is looking for a cheaper cost of life, they come here.
So it's really diverse also who's moving there.
Very diverse, yeah, in age and everything, culturally, everything, yeah.
Okay, now when you go in the suburbs, this is just because I don't know, and I just would love you to share this. I mean, when you leave Austin, you drive 20 minutes, 30 minutes away. I mean, are there mountains there? Are there lakes? What are the, you know, what are the off-season activities there also, if you want to call it?
So Austin it's a city that is known for outdoors activities, right? We're right by the Colorado River. Okay. So yeah, so the river goes right in the middle of the city, goes through the city, and divides North Austin and South Austin, right? So I mean, you have paddleboarding, you have kayak, you know, you can hike. There are trails, hiking trails along the side of the river. I mean, there's a lot of activities, and then we also have the lake, Lake Travis, which is a good 20 minutes, 15 minutes from downtown, and you can do pretty much anything out there. I mean, anything that has any water activities you can do out there, and then you have really nice hills by the lake that you have very nice restaurants with very beautiful views. It's very gorgeous. It's really, really pretty out there. Really pretty out there.
That sounds nice. Now I want to get on a plane and
yeah. Usually, when you guys come out here, I'll take you out there. There's a restaurant called Oasis, and it's just beautiful. The view out there is priceless.
Well,
very expensive. What was that?
You're speaking my language. You're mentioning food.
Here we go.
So that was my question.
There's a really good Colombian food restaurant out there.
So is there a large Colombian community out in Texas?
Yeah, there is. You know, it's not the biggest, but there is a big colony of Colombians out here.
And it's 5:30 in New York, so it's feeding time now.
Yes, it's feeding time all the time. So what other kinds of food can you find in those particular areas that you service?
All kinds of food, Evans. You know, you have from food trucks to high-end restaurants. You know, you can find anything. I mean, you have food trucks that serve, you know, Latino food, Indian food, but then you also have the high-end restaurants that serve the same type of food. So Austin, if you're a foodie person, you know, you're gonna find a lot of options out here for sure.
All right. Now, for young families such as yourself, what you mentioned, the outdoor activities. Being that we're in COVID right now, what other things can people do? Young families, people in the middle age, basically, what can they do outside or in Austin, basically, for fun, for relaxation?
I mean, thankfully, you know, in Texas, lockdowns have been strong and very, very strict, but not as strict as New York. I know that New York is opening up already, but we have been thankful that, you know, you still are able to go out there and you know, as long as you wear your mask, you know, hike, you know, go on kayaking or whatever you like to do, you can still be able to do a lot of outdoors activities out here. And restaurants for sure, you know, a lot of outdoors seating. So that's really, really, really good.
Well, being that you're in the state of Texas, I know sports are very popular in your area. So what sports can people, if they want to partake in that, or watch when COVID is over?
Texas, it's a big college town, and they have University of Texas right here, UT, and they're pretty much crazy about that there, man. Like seriously, like I live not too far from the campus, and I can hear when they're playing, and you know, people like screaming before COVID, not anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about like soccer, or as you would say, football?
That's true. Real football. No, I'm kidding. Now soccer. You know, that's a good question, Evans, because they're building the brand new stadium for the Austin FC football club, right? And it's going to be done by next year. So for anybody that loves soccer, there's going to be an option. Before that, there was nothing.
Soccer?
What was that?
It's a professional league that's here?
It is a professional. It's going to play in the MLS. Yes.
Okay.
Major League Soccer. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I know
And
Dean's
you know,
burning.
interesting fact on that. You know who one of the owners is?
Who?
Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey.
McConaughey?
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Okay.
one of the owners. Interesting, right? I didn't know he was into soccer.
Neither did I. Now Dean's gonna ask this question because I know it's burning for him. Hockey.
No, there's no hockey.
Yes. All year round, you can play in the middle of the field, hockey. No
Okay.
problem.
All right.
And make sure that you're wearing as much clothes as
There's
possible.
a Dallas team, Evans, but that's not near him.
I'm just saying, basically, there might be some other options, basically, for people who are into hockey, you know, stuff that they can do as well. All right.
I mean, if you have ESPN, you can get all the sports you want.
All right, great. Now, what's something basically that people don't know about your area that people who live there pretty much, people who live there or move there basically like, wow, I didn't know that.
Or
Best kept secret.
Yeah, I would say best kept secret. I mean, we have so many things out here. You know, right now Austin is becoming such a big city for everything. I don't know if you know Tesla is moving here. They're building. Yeah, they're building. You didn't know that?
No, did not know that.
Tesla is bringing 5,000 jobs into the Austin area, guys, and it's set to be done by end of next year. And I have right here my notes, but it's gonna be, check this out, on a 4 to 5 million square feet factory.
Wow.
It's gonna be huge. I drive by it all the time, and it's just amazing. As soon as they said yes, we're coming, they hit the ground running, and they broke ground right away. I mean, they're pretty advanced. And also Amazon is finishing up a fulfillment center in Pflugerville, which is a good 25 minutes away from downtown, and he's bringing 1,000 jobs into the Austin area. So there's a lot going on out here, a lot going on. I think that's a big secret. Not a lot of people know, because it doesn't just mean that they're bringing jobs. Those jobs are going to create, you know, needs for those people, right? Housing, food, clothing, right? So that means that the economy, it should be moving pretty good in the next couple of years here.
All right. Well, you mentioned those two very important industries. What about the music scene and television entertainment? I know that you guys have a lot of music in that area.
Yeah, so Austin is known for live music, right? It has a lot, but right now they're hurting because of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so little by little they're starting to opening up, but yeah, great place. If you're in Austin, I would recommend Cosmic Coffee Shop. I mean, cafe. It's an outdoors. They have food trucks, and if you love wings, they have the best. The best.
All right.
Yeah, I recommend Buffalo wings out there.
Is it like a little Bourbon Street down there, 1 block or 2 blocks? I heard.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's good.
Yeah. But something that I wanted to mention before, when we were touching base on the properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know in New York is normal 40 by 100. That's your normal lot size, right?
Yeah.
Here,
Lot size here, but
yeah, that's like the good size, right? Because you still get like the 30 by 100 and stuff like that. Here, your normal or your average lot size is 5,000 to 10,000 square feet.
Could you say that one more time, please?
5,000 is like people look at it like it's a box. And when you start getting into the 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, I'm like, people are like, okay, I could settle for that.
Okay.
Settle for that. So it's
Yeah.
like 3 lots here, basically.
Yeah, I just sold. I had a listing that I sold by where the Tesla factory is going to be, which is right behind the airport, and it was a 2-acre lot with a home on it for about 1,800 square feet. The home, and that thing sold with 21 offers within 48 hours.
Wow.
21 offers.
So it's safe to say the market is good over there.
Market is really hot, really hot. Yeah, 21 offers, 48 hours over asking price. And I just put a duplex today for sale, and I already have a cash offer within less than 45 minutes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So besides single family homes, what else? What other kind of properties are there that's available to people?
The condos, co-ops, not co-ops.
Yeah, pretty much everything. You know, condos, co-ops. I mean, if you're someone that is just looking to downsize, there's a lot of co-ops and townhomes, right? Yeah. And if you're someone that is interested in investing, there's a lot of opportunity out here also for duplexes, triplex, fourplex. and not too far from the city, not too far from things that are happening. So there's a lot of opportunity out here, guys, a lot.
How's the infrastructure basically? How do people travel? Do they take the bus, trains, highways?
So public transportation is not as big as New York, right? But we still have pretty decent public transportation. People just drive, pretty much everywhere. The major highway is I-35, and that goes south, north, north, south, right? And it could get pretty crowded around rush hour in the morning and in the evening time. But other than that, pretty easy to get places. I mean, back in New York, I was driving 45 minutes to move a mile. Here, I drive 15 minutes to move 20 miles. You know what I mean? So, but, something funny is in the beginning, coming from New York, right? You're driving through the city. But here, when I first had my first showing, that thing was in the middle of nowhere, 40 minutes out in a place called Bastrop, right? And when I was driving, I saw horses and cows right on the side of the road. I was like, where am I? I was like, is my phone still working if something happens to me out here? But now you get used to it.
So with that said, though, you're there for a year, you said, right?
What was that?
You're there for 1 year, right?
Yes, yeah.
Do you feel that you've totally adjusted to that, or you still feel
within 30 days, Dean, I love it. Actually, that's driving through the country part. It's one of my favorite parts of showing homes out here.
So you're officially a Texan now?
I have my horse outside waiting for me to go show homes. Show homes. When clients see me coming on my horse, they love it.
All right. So I gotta ask you a question. I'll put you on the spot. Out of everything that we talked about and maybe stuff we didn't talk about, what's your absolute favorite thing about Austin?
It has to be that it's a city that has everything of a big city, but it has a small city feel. It has a small town feel. And you can still live out here without having to spend millions of dollars. We are in times where people are really, especially now after COVID, a lot of companies, I was talking to one of my clients yesterday, they moved here from Florida, and now they have, the reason why they moved here is because they could work from home. Prior to that, he was in the company for 25 years, always going to the office. So now that, they were able to work from home, sold their property in Florida, and moved here, and they just bought one. They just moved in last week. So, a lot of companies are moving that way. And I see that a lot of people are trying to be away from the city. They want to stay away from the city, from the crowd, from the crowds and from being on top of each other. So I love that you can do that out here, and you still, a 25-minute drive to the city, downtown, to restaurants, whatever you want, malls. It's within 20 minutes.
So you're living in the suburbs, but you can still take advantage of everything that you get.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Yes. So Mauricio, question: where exactly do you cover? What areas? You mentioned.
So that's a good question. So I mean, again, I cover all over. I saw homes all over. From the west side. But right now, my main focus is, I'm going to say South Austin, Southeast, East Austin, and North Austin, and Northeast Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, and I chose to work those areas because it was a strategic decision. Price points, they're very affordable, right? The market is moving a lot. When you get to the west side of Austin, you start to get into the millions, right? And those areas, they don't move as fast. But when you go into the other side, the east side, you start seeing homes in the 500,000, 300, 200,000.
Taxes. What's the situation with taxes in your area?
Yeah, that's a great question, Evans. A lot of most of the people moving into Austin and Texas in general are people moving from 3 states, right? And that is New York, Illinois, and California. And the reason for that, those are the 3 highest tax states in the country, right? I mean, we're talking about New York and California. They have the highest income tax. Texas doesn't have income tax. So your money is going to run a little bit longer than it would in Texas. I mean, in New York or California.
That's a huge plus.
Now, if someone's interested in moving to Austin, how do they reach you?
So they reach me at 512. This is my text number, 512-710-8484, or they can email me at blanco@kw.com. And Blanco is BLANCO.
All right. And what other languages do you speak besides English?
I speak Mauricio. No, okay. I speak English, obviously. I try to speak English. And my main language, my first language is Spanish. Hablo español para todas las personas que están interesadas, se pueden comunicar conmigo. Something very important, guys, is that I don't know, in New York, for us, the new build homes are not a big thing, right? The new build market. We don't have that many new builders, right? No. Out here, there's a big market. So something I wanted to share with your audience is that if you're coming into Austin or anywhere where there's a market for new builds, right? Make sure that you're represented by a realtor. And the reason I say that is because when you go into their office, the motorhome, that person that is there, the representative, works for the builder. So you want to make sure that it's someone that is actually looking out for your best interest. And that's what we do as realtors, right? And at the end of the day, it doesn't cost you anything, right? Still compensated by the builder, but you still get representation, which is very, very important.
That's a good point to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up. So if there's a house out there basically that's not what you want, but you want something to build from scratch, you can do that. But like you said, get representation.
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, Dean, you have any other questions?
No, I mean, I think we covered a lot. I'm really glad that we did this segment with Mauricio, got to learn about Texas and check in on you, see how you're doing down there too.
All right, great.
Yeah, there's huge opportunities. I mean, like I said, that new build market is huge because these builders, they give you incentives. I give you an example, guys. And I know I'm taking your time, but I just get really excited about this thing because I think it's great. Everybody's looking into new builds, right?
Yeah.
You can buy a home literally for $1,000 out here. Brand new home.
Say that one more time, please.
You can buy a home with literally just $1,000 out of pocket. Brand new home. As a matter of fact, I have a client right now in Gerald, Texas, not too far from Austin, about a good 40 minutes, right? North of Austin. And he's buying a home where the builder is paying his closing costs. And he's going into a program called USDA, which is every time you go out of the city limits, right? You qualify for a rural program that is for rural areas, but it's not really rural, right?
It's like an program, right? A government program?
Yes, and they cover your closing costs, all of your closing costs.
Okay.
So he's buying the home with literally just maybe $500.
Wow.
So it's something, because there's a lot of incentives with buying new builds out here, new homes. So something for people, that are in New York, they're thinking, oh, if I moved out there, I'm gonna have to put 20% down. Or, that's not the case. I mean, you have options. So if you want to learn about that, just let them know that they can call me.
All right, great. Well, that's one of the purposes that we put this show together, just to give people some options. If they do choose to leave New York, the tri-state area, here's some options you probably didn't think about. Here's some options. That's why it's called Your Next Move. So you know what your next move is. And we're putting you in touch with the right professionals like Mauricio, Dean, and myself. So if you need any help, you can always reach out to us. So Dean, how can they reach you?
Call or text me at 516-527-9549, or my email is my name, Dean Graber, @kw.com.
And you can reach me at 917-975-5985. And my email address is my first name, evantz@yahoo.com. We also have a website, Dean. You want to tell them what the website is called?
Sure, it's My NY Home Sales, so NY for New York. So www.mynYhomesales.com.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, Mauricio. Thank you for being on the show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Be notified when new videos come about. And have a good one. Take care of each other. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.